Hello guys! When we say that Putin had a bad week, we don't just mean the fall of Assad's regime in Syria or protests in Georgia. I am convinced that the main humiliator of this pathetic dictator is Ukraine. And this week we continue to demilitarize the evil empire. We have targeted their military air base in Engels of the Saratov region inside the Russian Federation and neutralized the huge ammunition depot near Yenakiieve of the temporarily occupied Donetsk region. Many interesting and mysterious things are happening around the temporary Kerch Bridge. Russians tried to protect it and used lots of constructions around, 34 different pieces, and they keep disappearing. And all after fantastic Ukrainian drones see baby swimming around. There are lots of reports what these amazing marine drones can do, and I think they are preparing us for one of the main collapses of the year. Let it be the Kerch Bridge. So let's discuss how Ukraine continues to defeat and demilitarize Russia. My name is Anna, I'm from Ukraine, I'm in Ukraine, and if you want to see the collapse of the Kremlin and Putin with Assad escaping to, let's say, North Korea or hell, subscribe. We will discuss that on the channel soon. And also, I'm always happy to protect you from various evil Russian narratives and hybrid warfare that they already conduct in your countries. So let's start with our main strategy for the defeat of Russia, and that is its demilitarization. It continues, and Ukrainian drones visited a military airbase in Engels. There are satellite images that illustrate explosions and fires there. And by targeting a military airbase in Engels, we definitely protect more of Ukrainian territories. Honestly, I believe during these 3 years of the full-scale invasions, our allies must have noticed that Ukrainians choose only legitimate targets and only the objects that otherwise would cause tremendous destructions and tragedies in Ukraine that defends itself. So please never equate Russia with Ukraine, never say it's a conflict between two countries. It's Russian aggression, Russian invasion, and Russian violation of all international laws. Just as today when they targeted a hospital in Zaporizhia, killing 4 and lots of wounded, mainly women. Hospital in Zaporizhia. But Ukrainians keep working on that demilitarization, and that is why we have destroyed an ammunition depot in Yenakiieve, which is a city in Donetsk region, temporarily occupied by Russia, but now actively used by the invaders as a platform for attacks. And this is actually one more reminder why it is vital for Ukraine to return all of its territories. Otherwise, Russia will keep using them as a platform for future attacks, violence, just as it happened with Donetsk, Luhansk, and Crimea. You know, not to be totally stupid, we have to learn on our mistakes. And this appeasement, weak reaction in 2014 led to big war in Ukraine. If we keep appeasing Putin in Ukraine, especially in the context of his geopolitical weakness, so vividly disclosed by Erdogan, let's say, if we allow him to escape the punishment, a bigger war will come to the global arena. So let's unite and defeat Putin, especially if you have millions of Ukrainians ready to do the job. Share the videos on your social media platforms. This helps to fight evil Russian narratives. Unfortunately, they are still dominate lots of minds, even in the Western world. But there are things we can boast, and these are good things, like Ukrainian drones. You know that this is the war of the 21st century. This is a big war, and Ukrainian and unfortunately Russian army too learned a lot. And this is another reason why Ukraine is important for NATO too, not just NATO, for Ukraine, because we know how to fight with drones, robots, and artificial intelligence. And all of Ukrainian developments, like our marine drones, are unbelievable because they actually brought one of the greatest victories to the Ukrainian army, and that is the defeat of the Russian Black Sea Navy that had to escape the aquatorium, the Ukrainian aquatorium of the Black Sea, and move to Novorossiysk, which is a Russian city and exactly where this Russian fleet belongs. And actually we reach these warships even there. But with limited resources, with lots of obstacles, we managed to erase Black Sea Fleet, Russian Black Sea Fleet from Crimea. If we didn't have it there in 2014, believe me, the annexation of the peninsula would be impossible. So how we achieved that? With the help of Ukrainian drones, including the marine ones, Sea Babies. I'm sure you've seen lots of videos circulating. Magnificent battles that they are able to conduct in the waters. They can actually fight with Russian helicopters, with Russian boats, and they were doing something beautiful in the aquatorium around the Kerch Bridge. You know that Kerch Bridge is a symbol of Russian occupation. It was personally opened by the Putin dictator, and it will be a symbol of his collapse too. Russians do everything to protect the bridge. Perhaps they have more air defense and backups around it than in many Russian cities, because traditionally they don't care about the lives of the population. They simply care about the image of their pathetic dictator, Botox dictator. You've taught me how to pronounce the word properly. And they protect Kerch Bridge with everything they can. They had ferries patrolling it, but unfortunately many of them were upgraded to submarines. Then they've invented some barge-like constructions around the bridge so that they can prevent Ukrainian drones from reaching the construction. And they had like 34 of them around. And satellite images, thank God for the satellite images. It makes difficult for Russia to lie or to censor things and results of Ukrainian attacks. We can see that at least half of these protective constructions are missing, and all happened after the reports of battles between Ukrainian Sea Baby marine drones and some Russian scrap metal. So I hope that sometime soon we will finally celebrate Kerch Bridge party. Once again, it's not the Kremlin, it's not the greatest like military center, but this is a symbol of Russian invasion. This is a symbol of the imperial psychosis, and its destruction will become just a next, how do you say it, nail in the Putin's coffin, because Syria actually put 2 or 3 already, and that is beautiful. Let me know in the comments below, would you like a separate video update about Ukrainian drones? We had that on channel, but fortunately Ukrainians develop more and more, and that's the warfare of the 21st century, and you do need an ally like that. And we are all yours. So join me on Instagram, X, I'm fighting there, on Blue Sky, our community is growing quickly, and the beautiful community in Discord and Threads. And check our merch shop for lots of good items that work well as reminders and conversation starters about Ukraine, and also as beautiful Christmas presents. We have 2 calendars. And thank you so much for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons and sponsors of the channel. Thank you for accomplishing the naval campaign. This is the 4th one. And this is the best Christmas present for Ukrainian soldiers. Lots of drones, a perfect pickup truck, and I will update you more, so stay tuned. And you know I love you, so I love you. Slava Ukraini!